Check, check. All right, let's get that start screen out of the way. There we go. 1 2 1 2. Oh, that chair is making a lot of noise. All right. Little microphone check. Let me know. Wow. That looks really loud. Or is it me? That looks really, really loud. Looks like it's boosted, and we don't want that. Yeah, let's turn that down a bit. That is not what we need. A little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. Check, check. No, that's still too much. That's still too much. Let's see how that goes. That should be fine. That should be good. Okay. We're here. What's going on? What's going on? I want to see myself. Yes. Welcome to Share the Knowledge Live. I'm DJ TLM broadcasting live from Amsterdam. This is my weekly DJ Q&A. So this is where you can ask your DJ related questions. We're live right now. Let me know. Well, I'm watching the mic. It still looks a little bit hot. 1 second. I want to start this right. Just taking the Rodecaster down a little bit. All right. So we are live right now on YouTube. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, Mixcloud, LinkedIn, Twitter. I want to add Twitter. Let me just do that so that everyone's on board. Mixcloud is live as well. Let me just do Twitter real quick. Yes, indeed. That's it. Twitter is live as well. Okay, let me start with some shout outs and then we'll get into some questions. So we got DJ Chico Belly is here. DJ Modrinks is here. Russian on Heist. What's going on? Megawatt the DJ. Good to see you again. Citrus Flavor. Ian Casanova is here. Tim Book 2 is here. And Matt Libran is here. Ayala 02 is here. DJ Bake is here, or Bay C. Roger A. Martin. Wilson, a.k.a. DJ Kylo. Aaron Wilson. Different Wilson. Yeah, that should be good now. All right, so salute to all of you. And if you're new to the show, like I said, it's a weekly Q&A where you can ask me anything DJ related. Could be about techniques, could be about the business. If I have an answer, I will answer. If I don't have an answer, then we can always turn to the chat and see if there's anyone else in here who might be able to answer that for us. We have Funk Master Flex. Which Flex is that? I see on Facebook. And that's about it. So if this is not Funk Master Flex and you go by the same name, that name is pretty tricky, bro. And if it would be Funk Master Flex, salute to you. I actually don't have an option to check stuff like that on the fly. I have to keep my phone here because Mixcloud is the only one I actually can't check through my Restream chat app. The rest I can. Just DJ Flex. Okay. I love the name. Yeah, I mean, I like the name too, but you will always get that confusion though. Uptown, what's good? Uptown Flavor in the building. And the first question is, what's the best way to go about getting a percentage of the bar sales? Wow. I don't know if there's a best way to go about that. But I'm trying to think if I've ever been in a situation where that actually was the case. because I don't think so. Let me put these to the side. I might talk about these a little bit later. I got my my replacement cartridge and needles for my Shure M447. These are by, I still don't know if it's Jiko or Jiko. It's a Japanese brand, so I would think it's going to be Jiko, but I'm going to check that with them. The best way. So the best way, I really don't know if there's a best way. This is something you'll have to bring up during the booking process. That's all I can think of. Honestly, I don't know how it is in different parts of the globe. So maybe in some places that is actually a normal thing where a DJ can get a percentage of the bar sales. I know here a lot of venues would probably not be into that because the bar is where they make a lot of their money. A lot of times they'll have, I mean, there's an entrance fee. I'm talking about normal clubs. There's an entrance fee. There's also a large guest list. They need people to drink. That's where the money comes in. Now that I think of it, I have been in a situation where we were organizing an event with the venue. So if that all depends on the scenario. Like I've never been booked to play somewhere and that in the negotiations, I wanted a percentage of the bar. I have been in a situation where we were organizing an event with the venue. So we were basically partners. In that case, there's a lot more that comes into play because normally there is a fee to rent a venue if you want to organize your event there. You have to pay, so you meaning the organization. The security has to be paid. The rest of the personnel, including people behind the bar, have to get paid. So there's a lot of cost, promotional costs, printing up the flyers and everything that we had to do then. So there were a lot of costs. And in that case, we just made a deal where these are the costs and there's going to be money coming in through ticket sales and there's going to be money coming in through the bar. And with that deal, we did get a percentage of the bar as well. But that's the only situation I can recall where that happened. As a DJ, again, I don't know how normal that is, but if that's something that you've done before, then you have more experience with it than I have. And I can only say that's something that needs to come up during the booking process. So if someone approaches you to book you to play at the bar or at that venue, then you have to tell them like, hey, I appreciate that. Or if you reached out to them like, hey, this is how I normally work. So do you normally take a fee and a percentage of the bar? Or would your fee be a percentage of the bar? Let me know that in the chat. Give me a little more info if that is like an extra. So are you getting paid for the gig and getting a percentage? I don't think I would ever do that as a venue, to be honest. Basie wants to know, how long do you allow songs to play for older styles of R&B and Southern Soul? I don't have rules when it comes to genres, not really. So for me, normally I will play songs longer if I'm playing during the warm-up, for instance, because that's not the time to be too energetic. You want people to come in, create an ambiance, and have a nice vibe going on. Now, I actually love doing warm-up sets because it allows you to play certain songs that you can't play during prime time or most likely won't play during prime time. But you can also let songs breathe. When you get to the prime time, a lot of times you will play songs faster. So for me personally, a lot of times if I'm playing during a hype part of the evening, I'll play songs for one verse. And when the next chorus comes in, I'm doing my transition. If I'm playing during the warm-up, I'll play songs at least 2 verses, maybe longer if the vibe is all good. So it's not, to me, it doesn't depend on what style of music it is. If it's like older R&B, but if you're talking like older style R&B, if you're really talking about the rhythm and blues and the soul, even then it would depend on the type of party you're playing. If it is an event where you have an older crowd that is actually coming for that type of music, maybe you can play the songs a lot longer. So if it's really the old style, I'm not too familiar with playing a lot of that. I would play like sometimes if the vibe is right, I might break out one of those old classics and bring it in, but not a lot. Okay. Mad Library. No, I did not get a chance to look into that search function in Rekordbox. Let me see if that's something I can do while we're here. So I'm going to see if I can bring it up and maybe just get it going now here while we're live. I'll start that in the back and then we'll get back to the questions, because the question was, or the issue was, using BeatSource with BeatSource link in Rekordbox. Mad Library was using the search feature to search for a song or an artist from the BeatSource library, but the results were capped at, I don't remember, it was either 100 or 1,000, but at least the results were capped at a certain point. Where's Rekordbox? I'm doing this from a monitor that's a little bit farther away. Where is Rekordbox? Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Rekordbox. All right, so I'm going to just start that up in the back and see if we can take a look at that in a minute. So Ayala, I have not tried them yet because, as you can see, they are still in the box. Now, I have my upcoming episode of Crates next Monday is an all vinyl edition, so I get to grab some of that beautiful vinyl out the wall and play that, and I'll be using these. So that's going to be my first test. Now, before I play, so probably during the weekend, I will take the time to break those needles in, because if you have brand new needles, you can use them, but they're not really ready. You want to have them like play on some vinyl for, I don't know, like hour and a half to break them in. And I don't want the first time that they touch vinyl to be during the live stream. So I'll make sure I work the needles a little bit on Sunday probably. And on Monday, I'll do a full set with them. Now, I've heard great stories, so I'm expecting a dope result. I always love my Shure. I didn't only use Shure, but I love my Shure M447. I have a couple, but they're really worn out. They're not great. So I wanted to do a comparison, but that's not really going to be fair because it's going to be a very old M447 compared to some brand new needles. But I like the fact that I can use this style of needles again. What did I miss? Because I see Modrink saying it's a bet. Oh, okay. That's about the bar topic. Celex, what's good? What's going on YouTube? T-Babs, what's going on? Salute to you. JS Rock is here as well. And really, I grabbed my phone to have Mixcloud on deck and I put it away. What have you found are the best OBS settings for your video? Great question. I haven't really found the best settings because I haven't tried a lot of different settings when I broadcast. I think I got my settings from watching a couple of YouTube videos that were talking about the best settings for a particular platform. Now, the thing for me is I don't stream to one platform because I do believe there's a difference for certain platforms. I see a subscription. I'm going to check who that is in a second. I think that was Mulberry, but I'm not sure. So I believe there are different best settings depending on if you're streaming to Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. Now I'm streaming to Restream, and from Restream I'm now streaming to I think 6 platforms at the same time. I will check the settings in a second to see what I'm at right now, but I'm probably not using the best settings yet. I do have to do more research when it comes to that. So again, just to go back to that bar topic real quick about a percentage of the bar, I would see that happening in a partnership. I'm just not sure about doing normal bookings if that's a thing. If you're being paid for that gig already, then basically that's your fee for the work. Maybe certain DJs are in a position that they can also bargain for a percentage of the bar? I'm just not sure. Or it's a plus. It's like a situation where there might not be a fee that is sufficient, and that you then say like, hey, okay, if that's all you have, I could do it if we include a percentage of the bar, because the fee as it is now is not enough. So I don't know. I'm not really familiar with doing that as a DJ. I've never done that. I've never included like extra things. It was just always just bargaining for my fee. Gringo says, please don't stop DJ till 64. If you mean that I shouldn't stop DJing until 64, that's early. That's early. I want to go on longer. Now, mind you, I don't plan to do a ton of gigs when I get to that age. At that age, I would prefer to do a lot of hopefully like one-on-one lessons through Skype, Zoom, whatever. And maybe once in a while do a live event and probably just live stream. Like imagine if you're older, you don't want to go into the whole club thing anymore, but you could still DJ from home. Maybe there's already someone out there like that, like an older DJ, like someone in his or her 60s or 70s streaming online. That could be a thing. If you're that age and you have the time, you don't have to be booked. You don't need to go anywhere. You can just DJ from your house. Now, I'll be doing that at that age, most likely. Fat Mike says facts. Aaron Wilson says, I've organized an open turntable party series in NYC. It's a bar, and I want to introduce weekly DJ battles in the event. Any suggestions for making DJ battles entertaining for the masses? I think that is always a tricky one. I do believe that's where an event like Red Bull 3 style kind of paved the way. Because if you look at the traditional DJ battles, now, mind you, there have been like DJ competitions where you would just have DJs mixing. That could be cool for a larger audience because it's still music being played and tracks being mixed. But if we're talking about DJ battles where you really are focused on turntablism, that's where you're going to lose a lot of the general public because they most likely won't understand what's going on. Or they might even think that you're just messing up the song. Why isn't that DJ playing the song? Because we're doing something else. So I remember when we had the battles here in Amsterdam at the time when it was like more popular because turntablism had a little bit of a peak. Then it kind of died down a bit more. And at that time, what did help is that we made sure that I wasn't part of the organization. I was part of the DJs battling, but they made sure that the public could actually really see what was going on by having one of the eagle eye view cams, like an overhead cam, and a major, like a large screen with a projector. So this room would pack like, I don't know, 800, 900 people. And everyone had a clear view of what was going on. That kind of helped. But yeah, for the masses, it's not going to be too interesting if it's like a 5-hour DJ battle. Now, if it's a battle, if you're doing it during a club night and you have DJs playing music and in between you might have a couple of those DJ battle sets, it might work. But it's kind of tricky. I think the best thing to do is target the right audience. So it doesn't all have to be like us turntablism nerds that you have in there, but at least get a crowd in there that is more familiar with like hip hop culture and DJing and turntablism, because they can also appreciate that to a degree. But again, kind of depends on what we're talking about. Like if it's like a DJ battle with just mixing, that's a different story. And going back to what I said about Red Bull 3 style, where they changed the game to me, maybe another organization was first. For me, Red Bull 3 style was the first time I saw that. The focus there is on rocking the party using all of the elements. So using turntablism, really showing your skills, but you also have to play different genres of music. You're playing the songs, doing crazy mashups. And a lot of the Red Bull 3 style sets are actually sets you can rock out to, you can party to. So that is way more accessible, like, or understandable to the masses compared to like ITF battles or DMC battles where they're just going ham with cuts. So that could be a suggestion, making it a battle in that way. But like with weekly DJ battles, I don't know how that's going to work. Like if you look at like the major battles, you got DJs preparing for months. If you have DJ battles there every week, I don't know what type of crowd you're going to attract, what kind of DJs you're going to attract. If it's just DJs who want to just have a podium to stand on and rock for an audience, you might just get DJs in there that will scratch for 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. GI from Tampa, Florida. I find that most DJs find my style awkward, but it seems to work at all my gigs. Do you feel mixing different genres together to be odd? No. It's a funny comment though. I misread. Most DJs find the style awkward, but it seems to work. So the audience is kind of appreciating what you do, but the DJs find your style awkward. But why is it awkward? Because you're using different genres? Because a lot of DJs will mix different genres. So no, I don't think there's anything odd about mixing different genres. Okay, in Vegas, you get paid for a gig, but when you're a resident DJ, you get a percentage of the bar. I assume that's in some places in Vegas, right? Or is that like the standard in Vegas? I've been wondering, as a resident DJ, is it a good idea to ask what's their bottom line in liquor sales? If the bottom line hits or better, then the DJ gets paid more. We don't have a cover charge. I've been told by bartenders that I've moved more money on some off nights. Like if you have information like that, for instance, if you know that you're playing there every Thursday and normally there, or if you play there on Thursday, like once a month, and you get that inside info, like, hey, normally like our Thursday is just like no business or like hardly any bar sales. But when you come and play, we make a lot more money. If you have information like that, that is a little bit of leverage that you could actually use to go to an owner like, hey, man, I mean, I love playing here. I also know I'm bringing you great business. Like maybe there's something we can do. Like I don't think you have to say it like that, but I do believe there's leverage there if you get that information like that. You move more money on off nights. But again, like I'm just not experienced in that type of deal, but I'm sure it could work. Special J, what's going on? Oh. All right, I'm you can't really see, but I'm ashamed, bro. I still did not give you your shout out, your drop. Wow. Okay. Let me get to this question first. I throw my own events, and when I do, I always negotiate getting the door, and the venue keeps the bar. But I do know DJs in my area that have a fee entry and they get a percentage of the bar. But those DJs have a very large following in the city. So yeah, so maybe for like the bigger DJs, it will work. And like you said, same thing for me. Like when you're organizing your events, that's a different thing. Like either like you get the door, they get the bar, or maybe you split the door, split the bar. There's different ways to make deals to do events like that. So I'm familiar with that. So, okay, so I guess like for some, if the DJ knows that they're bringing enough value, so anytime they play, they pack the place more than other DJs. That is leverage to use to also get a percentage of, for instance, the bar. D-Boy 5 was good. Have you ever wanted to quit due to lack of inspiration? From Mr. One DJ request. No, never. No, just never. I absolutely just love this thing. Like if I would never work as a DJ again, I would still love this thing and I would be doing it here. So if we're talking about just quitting DJing overall, never. Now, have I ever considered just stopping as a professional DJ? No. Now, like I just said earlier, there might come a time where I decide like, hey, I'm just tired of the whole club thing. I don't want to do that anymore. I still would not be be like tired of DJing, but just the whole club thing. I might quit that at a certain point, but no. The inspiration has always been there. Now, there's been times where I did find a lack of inspiration when it came to the club scenario or the club scene here. Like the type of parties that I was playing at, I was like, okay, I'm not connecting the way I want to connect. Like a lot of the DJs are playing stuff I just really don't have a lot of feeling for. The crowd wants to hear that. Okay, so this is not for me. There were different parties that I could still do, but I did notice that that kind of took a little bit of inspiration away, but never to a point that it made me say like, hey, I'm going to quit. I just made a conscious decision not to play at those parties, because if I play enough gigs where I don't get the satisfaction I want to get from playing gigs, that's going to eat my passion. I don't want that. So I stay away from gigs like that. But no, I never wanted to quit. Okay, I'm still missing that. Who subscribed? I just saw the subscription thing there, but I'm behind here. I think it's Mulberry. I'm pretty sure it was Mulberry. I saw Mo. Yeah, it is Mulberry. Salute to you. I appreciate that support. 9 months in a row. That's big. At a certain point, hopefully we'll get to that in a couple of weeks or months. I do want to look into a different way for y'all to be able to support me, other than like the subscriptions that you have on these sites. Because to be honest, like sometimes with these companies, the split they make, talking about splits, when it comes to subscriptions and stuff like that, a lot of times most or some of that or most of that subscription is being eaten by the company. Twitch doesn't have a very good split. So I appreciate that support, but I would rather see your support end up in my pocket than in a company's pocket. So I'll get back to that within the next couple of weeks, months. Different ways to do that. Like a lot of these companies like YouTube and Twitch, they give us the platforms, which is really dope. Then they also add stuff that can bring in some revenue, but a lot of times they'll take a cut. Now, I understand why they're offering that platform, but the cut should still be fair. And otherwise, the viewer, subscriber, supporter should be aware of what that split is, because you don't want to click on something and think that you're supporting, but maybe most of what you just gave goes to the company and not the artist or DJ, you name it. So I even have to look into that with certain sites, like how much the split is. But the last thing I heard about Twitch kind of shocked me, because I kind of missed that. I was like, really? Is that the split? It sounded like really off, but I'll get back to that once I know more. Let's see. What did I miss? What did I miss? And Nalepo, I appreciate that that follow. Salute to you. And Matt Libran, I'm gonna send that that question to the Beat Source tech staff, so they can give me a proper answer or fix it if it can be fixed. I know they're still working on a lot of things. Like they know certain things aren't working 100% yet. Like they're adding new tracks every single day, and sometimes there's a track in there and the track doesn't show any info, or something is missing. They're working on all of that. So I know they're very, very busy to improve, and they got updates coming as well. So I will relate this to the tech part of Beat Source. I use my judgment, and you can tell if the bar is making money, and the bartender give you the inside info. If you're consistently doing numbers, a raise is okay to ask for, but it should be on a consistent basis when you are there. Yeah, it shouldn't be like you have one dope night there and then you're like, hey man, I played here last week and I heard there were more people than normally. I want more. Like, that's probably not enough leverage. But if it's like every time you play, they have a better bar, that's a thing. I'm checking. Ayala uses the VNL. Yeah, I was going to test those. I'm going to be really honest. That's not to bash anyone, but I was going to test those. They were going to be sent to me. And that was months ago. Months and months and months and months. And yeah, like at a certain point, you don't want to reach out 10 times and not get a reply, or get a reply but then still wait. And then you have other companies, you talk to them once and they're like, hey man, as soon as there's like a review set available, you got it. And within no time, I got it. So who knows? Maybe in the future I still get to test the VNLs because they looked interesting to me. But for now, I'm going to start out with these. Reactor was good. Das Hog was good. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Sorry your Oranje crashed out of the Euros. Better luck next time. I do not care about football. I mean, of course, if they were still in it, it was cool. It would be cool. They are representing my country, but I paid no attention to this championship, to be honest. I think we're down to the finals now. I know that Italy's in there. I don't even know who they're playing, but I'm just not into football. Basketball all day. So that's it for me. NBA playoffs, Bucks, Suns. I hope CP3 gets one. If there's anyone from Milwaukee here, much love to you. Giannis is still young. He's got plenty of time. CP's in his 16th year. Yeah, man. I hope they get it. Salute to all my basketball peeps out there. Big Face Worm was good. Not a DJ here, so completely naive. I have somewhat of an understanding of what you do when you DJ. When I see streams, videos of other DJs like Deadmau5, Skrillex, Carl Cox, Fatboy Slim, where they twiddle with knobs and sliders, but almost never touch the turntables. So what is it that they're doing? No disrespect intended. I happily listen to all those DJs. So most of the time when you see them twiddle with the knobs and sliders, they're either using the EQ section. So basically the equalizer, which allows you to manipulate the frequencies. So your high frequencies, mid frequencies, low frequencies. So if you're playing two tracks together, a lot of times you don't want both tracks to just be playing their normal style because you're going to get a lot of low end, a lot of bass from both tracks. So maybe you take out a lot of low end from one, add a little more from the other, and you can work your EQ to make tracks blend better. Next to that, a lot of times they'll be using effects because a lot of the mixers now will have effects. Now to use and trigger effects and manipulate your effect, you don't have to touch the jog wheels, turntables, whatever you're using. Everything happens on the mixer. So that is what they could be doing. And in some cases, I'm not talking about the names on this list, but just in general, and we've all seen a lot of those videos, they're not doing anything. Like a lot of DJs, especially in more like the dance genres, a lot of times you can just tell that the DJ has a lot of time to kill between the transition and the next transition. So when the new track comes in, it doesn't take them a long time to match the beats, either by ear or sync. That doesn't take a lot of time. In the meantime, they feel they'll have to do something. So a lot of times you'll see them like touching knobs. Make sure when you do that, that you really raise your hand so they can see that you're doing it. And a lot of times when we DJs see like the video footage and you're watching, some of the DJs, they'll touch the same knob like 10 times. They did not change the settings. They just had their hand on it. So for the audience looking towards the DJ, it looks like a lot is happening. Oh, wow. Like that DJ is really working it. Sometimes we'll even see that they're working on a channel, but that's not the channel that's playing a track at the moment. So not saying that it's for these DJs, but that also happens. So sometimes it could be EQing. Sometimes it could be working the effects. Sometimes it could be just killing time and it's nothing. Vinyl Touch, salute to you. Mulberry 65 in August. Okay, there you go. I'm an August man myself as well. T-Bab says, now that my city just opened up, was actually thinking of doing something. I'm loving this discussion. All right. How old is Kid Capri? Free Chilling is asking. I would guess in his 50s. I think he's from that generation, but I'm not sure. Ayala says the club thing gets tired at times. Yeah. I don't see myself doing that for forever, for sure. The club thing. AC1, what's going on? Salute to you. And pregame show wants to know, I was wondering what your opinion is about phase. Been thinking about upgrading. Oh, okay. And Kid Capri is 54. There you go. Phase to me is incredible. Phase to me is the biggest game changer we've had within DJing in the last, 10 years. And I absolutely love it. So when I'm not using one of the different setups, so like for this last stream on Monday, I was using these CDJ 3000s, not in standalone mode, but to control Rekordbox, the software. Sometimes I'll break out like the Rain 12s, you name it. I'm going to do a set on just prime gear, like the X1800 and two 5000s, not the M's, the normal ones. But my favorite setup is turntables with phase, either with Serato or Rekordbox. But I absolutely love it. The fact that I don't have to worry about a lot of the elements on a turntable. So I don't have to worry about the tone arm or the needle or maybe the RCA wiring, you name it. It's not even for the home situation, even though I love it, but especially for the gigs. I've had it happen too many times that I came to a gig and they had turntables. I have turntables on my rider, my technical rider, and they had turntables, but a lot of times something was wrong with the turntable. And let's say like the RCA, with one of the RCA cables, there's something wrong within the wiring. And it's Technics, SL1200. So that RCA cable is attached. It's you can't detach it. Then I don't get a clear signal, and that messes up my Serato in DVS. With phase, I don't have to worry about that. So that is something I absolutely love. T-Babs wants to know, what advice do you have? What advice do you have those of us who started really late, started at 40? Now I'm concentrating more towards DJing at weddings. Ooh, well, advice? I'm not really sure because I didn't start late. Now, I do think it's never too late. So especially like at 40, if you have the feel for the vibe, the passion, you feel this is something you want to do, you can definitely do this. Concentrating more towards weddings. I mean, that could be a great lane. It's never been my lane, but I'm not sure about this. So maybe some of y'all in the chat who are more into mobile DJing or wedding DJing can tell me. But somehow I think that you can have a longer career in weddings compared to clubs, age-wise, or that would be more comfortable. Not just because of the time, because a lot of times the weddings won't be like as late and long as like the club nights, but I'm not sure about that. So I would have to think about advice because that's a situation I'm just totally not in. Let's see. Code Red, what's going on? Do you ever get a writer's block for DJing? I understand what you mean. I'll be DJing at a party and play a song, and I can't think what song will mix good with it. Any tips? Yeah, keep scrolling through your crates. That's all. Basically, that's all I did and do. So when I was playing with vinyl, I've had that happen. Like I'm going through, watching all the sleeves, and I'm just not seeing anything. Like I have a record playing and I'm looking. I can't find anything that makes me feel like, okay, this is the next jam. And then I keep looking. Sometimes I just won't find the next song. And then whatever I do, I just make sure I grab something that is going to be liked by the crowd. So a hit that would work for that crowd. Even if it's not really where I wanted to go with it, let me play that, get them going again, and maybe their energy gets me going again. But yeah, I normally just keep looking. Same thing with if I'm doing digital DJing. Sometimes I don't know what to play next. I'm playing freestyle all the time. Now, when I'm streaming, I don't get the same type of crowd reaction that I get in a club. So you're not reading the crowd as much, so you really have to go off feeling. And sometimes I'm going through a crate and I'm like, okay, I don't really see anything. I'll quickly jump into some different crates, hoping that I'll run into a song that at least gives me a feeling like, okay, let me do this one. And this one will probably give me a little more vibe to go on to a next song. That's what I would say. Special J says, starting late or early, the learning is the same. Just might be a longer learning curve. That could be true as well when it comes to actually learning how to DJ. I wasn't even thinking about that part. I was focused on the getting into the wedding part of things. But yes, if you're starting late, maybe the learning curve is longer. That is definitely a possibility. Ian says, I use phase. There are pros and cons in my opinion, but I will let the host cover that if he wishes. No, Ian, jump in. Like, I know plenty of DJs, especially when phase first came out, who had issues with phase, like technical issues. Now, I do know since then they released 1,000 updates, and more DJs did tell me like, hey, issues are solved now. I personally never had the issues, and I know a lot of DJs who also never had the issues. So for us, it just works straight away. I haven't run into cons yet. So I'm actually like please do share, because that's only dope. That's the way we learn. So if you have any cons, any things that you don't like about it, drop it in the chat. Hey, Mixcloud alert. AMW DJ and Easy all day on Mixcloud. Salute to both of you. Let me see. Select says, I have a company starting up called Noise Ordinance Entertainment, where the goal is to get new generation into DJing. The goal of the company is to get a new generation into DJing. All right, you're going to have to explain more when it comes to that. So what does your company do? Let us know. Is there a way to contact businesses for sponsorship or partnerships, like liquor companies? I'm DJ Mo Drinks with a lot of smiles. Look, so when it comes to like sponsorships and reaching out to brands, the one thing you need to understand is, if you're reaching out to a brand and the only thing you have is the ask, most likely it's not going to work. You have to reverse the thought process. And if you're approaching a brand, it should be that you're approaching a brand and letting them know how you can be of value to them. That is part one. After that, you can get into why you want to work with the brand and what they can do for you. But it has to start with you adding value to their brand one way or another. Now, a lot of times with brands, of course, it's going to be that you are promoting the brand. But if you're just going to reach out like, hey, I'm DJ Mo Drinks, and send me a bunch of drinks and I'll put them in my stream, that most likely will not be enough. Or you have to have like numbers and a lot of engagement that you can show them like, hey, I've been doing this stream for a while. My crowd consists of this type of people, and the vibe is like this. Great interaction, a lot of numbers going on. And with streams, that's kind of tricky. Like a lot of us will not have mad numbers when it comes to streaming. So that's a tricky one. But make sure you start from that point. You have to add value to them. Bring them value. Mulberry says, Jazzy Jeff is 56. There we go. And Special J wants to try, I want to try Red Bull, but it's become so technical, I feel like I have a long way to go. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Like that's the thing. Like, it's more entertaining to the masses because it is like party style oriented. But it is really also technical. Like, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into it. Turntablism wise, but also like editing wise, how they put their sets together. So And never forget, like, a lot of those routines you see, like, those people have been building that routine for months and months. Sometimes you'll have DJs that have a lot of short routines that they've been doing for a long time, and they put them together and turn that into their Red Bull 3 style routine. Some will start from scratch, but they could be practicing that same routine for months, and that makes it look easy, and a lot of times it really isn't, but it also makes those performances really dope to watch, and they can be inspiring. K-Flash, what's going on? Oh, here we go. Did my first gig last weekend. You inspired me much. That is dope. That is dope. I hope you had a lot of fun during your first gig. So even before like asking like, hey, how did it go? I just hope you had a lot of fun. That's number one. Now beyond that, how did it go? Did it work out? Things that were harder than you thought or easier than you thought they would be? Let us know. And Select says the pay depends on the deal, really. I've opened up clubs and the deal is typically a flat fee for the hours worked. After the club starts lighting up, then we renegotiate the deal. Okay. No, Special J, for real. Like busy is not an excuse. That's not. That's why I'm not even gonna say like, hey, I didn't have time for it, because that's just not true. I have had time for it. And there's been like 2 or 3 occasions where I told myself like, hey, okay, don't forget to record the shout out. And then I leave the studio and get home. I'm like, I forgot. I have to remember next time. And then it might take me like a week or 2 to remember. So that's not even busy. That's like, I need to be more on point. If you say yes, so to everyone out there, if you say yes, you have to stick to that. And I said yes because I want to give you that, so I have to make good on my word. That is important. AC1 says, I noticed the younger people like the older music, like ABBA, even more. What do you think about that? I don't know. It could be. It could be. Now, the thing is, because I don't know where that is and if that's really true, or if it was like one occasion where a couple of young kids were like really into it. You have to understand though, like everyone now has access to all music. That was different back in the days. Like if you were younger, you probably weren't listening to the radio station that was playing the old stuff, the stuff your parents were listening to. Now you can run into so much stuff online. Kids will run into like old music on TikTok, because some TikTokers will take a very old song and use that for a new dance challenge, gimmick, whatever. And then they see a ton of videos using that same song, and then they'll click and go check it out. So discoverability is like huge, and a lot of young people will get introduced to more stuff than they used to. Plus, they're getting introduced to it in a different way, not their parents telling them like, hey, this is real music, and then they hear it. No, they'll hear it on their own platforms. So that is a possibility. Okay, so let me see. Select says, so I would mix Latin trap with English hip hop to grime, as long as the beat works and it flows right to me. Doesn't matter what the genre is. Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of times, if you can go to a certain vibe, the genre doesn't really matter that much. Now, of course, certain genres will work together better, like trap and grime. They're gonna work better, tempo wise, vibe wise. So in that case, you can mix a lot of genres and make it sound dope. I'll mix Stormzy with some reggaeton, and they think it's weird, but the people love it because I'm keeping everyone entertained. Do not pay attention to those DJs. Like it's cool that you know what they think, but it really doesn't matter at all. Like, especially like you said, the people you're playing for, the crowd, they're into it, they're enjoying it, they're having a good time. There you go. Other DJs might feel it's awkward or weird. A lot of times that can also come from insecurity because you might be doing something that they never thought possible. They would never dare go there. You went there. They're like, what is he doing? But it works. So don't pay too much attention to the DJs. Pay attention to that crowd. That is where you need to be. Okay, the question is from Special J. How is your mic set up? The quality and clarity is great. Do you use a compressor or gate or anything? So yes, both. So this microphone is the microphone I'm also using during my normal mix streams. This is a pod mic, the Rode pod mic. When I'm doing my streams, my mix streams, this mic is connected to whatever mixer I'm playing on. So all the audio is coming from the mixer. So turntables, whatever I'm using, I'll just plug the mic into that mixer. Now, in this case, for the Share the Knowledge live stream, or if I'm doing podcasts, I'll use the pod mic, but now the pod mic is connected to my Rodecaster Pro that's on the other desk. So that's on the studio side right there. So I'm now plugged into the Rodecaster Pro, and the Rodecaster Pro has like dynamic processing in there. So I have a compressor on it right now. There's a noise gate on there as well. And I absolutely love that. So that's it. That's basically it. And they have like templates for different microphones in the Rodecaster Pro. So I'm just using the pod mic template. I haven't even adjusted it. I know I can improve it probably, but I'm working with just the straight out the box settings. And I really enjoy the sound. Now the pod mic to me is a great choice because it's not that expensive. It's like 100 or 110. I really like the quality. It's built like a tank, but it's not that big. So even when I'm traveling, I can bring it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And let's see. Celex, I appreciate that follow. All right, let's see. Mo Drink says, that's why I rock with you. You once said you play some music that you like, I guess, to keep your vibe. I felt that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like I said, like just imagine if we were talking earlier about sometimes you might not have the person called it writer's block, but understand what they're talking about. Like you just don't know what to play next. A lot of times when I'm playing freestyle, just bit my lip, freestyle, I'll play a song. I'll look at my crate, and within no time, I'll see a title, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to play that next. Sometimes you just don't have that. Now, if I look and I can't find anything, either I'll just find something that will at least hit with the crowd, so a popular song. But if I don't get a good read of the crowd, I'll make sure I play something that gets me hype. Even if I play for one verse, that might just give me a little bit of a boost to keep going again. But yes, I'm there to rock the crowd. That's the number one job of the DJ, of course. But I also make sure I play music that I like. Yes. 9 Iron was good. Using the Denon Prime 4 and Engine Prime. Never connected to PC. Strictly USB sticks. Having trouble saving cues. Oh yeah, that you asked me on IG as well, right? So I don't know. I haven't used the Prime 4. So I have no idea why it's not saving, because normally it should save the links. Now I haven't used Beatport Link before. I'm just on BeatSource Link, but they work the same. So I don't have an answer for you there. This is something I will also relay to the BeatSource tech people, because BeatSource, Beatport, same fam. Beatport is Beatport, and DJ City and Beatport are BeatSource. So it's within the same fam. So I'm going to make sure to add this one as well. See if there's a clear answer, and otherwise it's something they need to look at. Let's see. Sazambor, what's good? Sometimes I have to do gigs just for the money, so I can invest it back into my career. But it annoys me sometimes how those parties operate in their crowd. Yeah, I understand it's something I do not do. It's something I don't do, but I know a lot of DJs do it. So I know plenty of DJs who do gigs where they're going into that gig just for the money. And I don't judge it. I even understand it. I also know that it does not work for me, because I've done gigs where I did not know up front that I wasn't going to enjoy the gig. But when I did the gig, I found out that it's not my cup of tea. And those were gigs that were making me a lot more money than the club gigs. So certain corporate gigs, not all, but certain type of corporate gigs, I made a lot of money there. Like I could make 3 times what I would do in the club, at least. But I found out quickly, like a lot of times those gigs were just not for me. And I just could feel like losing a little bit of my DJ soul in there. And that made me realize I cannot do it. Now, if you can do it and live with it, go for it. But I can already tell, like, you have negative feelings when you do those gigs. You don't want to associate too many negative feelings with DJing, because then you might lose some love for DJing. So for me, that's like a red flag for sure. All right, so Special J mentions it here. And let me see. So, okay, because I'm running behind as usual. Let's see, I'm 30 minutes behind. For people who haven't seen this show before, when I'm answering questions, a lot of new questions come into the chat. So I will always be behind. That is normal. So people are now talking about what I was talking about the splits. So Mixcloud has the worst split ever. Special J says, I can kind of understand to a certain degree, because Mixcloud is doing everything legal. So I believe like a percentage of the money also has to go to the labels and the artists. But that's not really where I have my subs. I think I have like 1 or 2 subscriptions there. Megawatts is 20% or less, and that's the Twitch split. I heard something like a 90-10 split. That's why I was like, okay, I didn't even look into that. Now, I never got into Twitch for subscriptions or anything like that. I just thought it will be another dope platform to use for streaming, because it's a streaming platform, even though it was really for the gamers. And now, since I can't use YouTube for the mixes, Twitch is great to have next to Mixcloud. Mixcloud is the legal one. Twitch allows me to stream but not replay. I love the community on Twitch. But I never really looked into, hey, like, cool, I get some subscriptions there as well. But then I heard a video this week and someone was talking about splits on different platforms. And that Twitch split sounded terrible as well. Like, okay. And to me, I need to look into that for all platforms, because I feel it's not really fair to you if you think that you're supporting an artist or a DJ when it turns out that you're basically mostly just paying paying a platform. So that's why, but I'll get into that within a couple of weeks or months, like a different way to do that, where you can be assured that you're actually really fully supporting the artist instead of the platform. All right. Let's see. RC3, what's going on? Hey, I got your messages though, but I always get the message way later. So one of these days I will be online at the time that you're streaming so I can check it out. All right, Special J is also on the VNLs. So yeah, I might have to do a different approach. So I'm going to share this with you to a certain degree. I've had a contact who's going to take care of some Artifawn stuff for me, and the communication just is not really working. I have to reach out a bunch of times, then I get an answer, then I don't hear for some time, then I hear stuff is coming and it's not coming. I've thought about just reaching out to Artifawn and The reason why I didn't do it is because it didn't really feel right to me to go around the person that I already am communicating with to the company. But yeah, like I do want to try them out, and it's not working with that contact. So I don't want to throw people under the bus, but I feel it's more important to get stuff out to you guys. So yeah, I'll look into that. All right. So Nick Spinelli also did a video about the Mixcloud split. I'll have to look into that. I just know they have to share what they earn. They have to share it with the labels. That's how they get to legally allow us to stream music there and have mixes uploaded. That's all I know, but I did not check their split either. AMW DJ, now you're on Twitch. Dope. You were just on Mixcloud, right? Yep. Hopping platforms. I like that. I ordered and received my acrylics. Yeah, had a positive experience. 11 days from ordering. Okay, that's nice. So I had great experiences, but I did have one nasty experience with them. And that was I was playing. It was at a gig, and there was a lot of humidity in the venue. And that thing got slippery. I was not prepared for that. So I need to, now that I know, I'll make sure to wipe them down. It was in the middle of our set, and I had my routine part. And I started, and as soon as my hand got on it, I could just feel like, oh, wait a minute. I have no grip. When normally I have great grip with the acrylics that I have. We're talking about this, right? So it's just a 12-inch. This one has like the nice bubbly feel, which is normally gives me good grip. And it has like the magnet for my phase on it. So I never had that before until that one time. And I was like now I don't have it, but that scared me for a second, but now I'm prepared for it. Love playing with those. Let's see. All right, now you're talking basketball. See, that's what happens when we run behind again. No doubt, Fat Mike. Let's see. Nightmare Tea Party, appreciate that follow. Big Face Worm, be sure to let us know when you get your own way of support subscription. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Very soon, because it needs to change. Now that I'm thinking about it more, I'm like, yeah, I really need to make sure it happens soon. It's been on the planner for the future, but I need to speed that up. ARM TV was good. Are you into the array column style speakers? Slim speaker or top and subs to bottoms? Like I'm shaking no already because like my speaker game is goose egg, zero. I have no clue about speakers, so no. Unfortunately, I don't. I think they're great for mobile DJs and they're light as well. That sounds dope, but again, I know nothing about speakers. Select says I literally had to redo a club's XLR cables because they were so beat. Yeah, sometimes you get into venues and you can just tell like, okay, they're not taking great care of their equipment. Yeah, I've been there. Matthew Clark, what up? Just wanted you to okay. Okay. Let's see. Ayala says, I do mobile DJing as well. You have to be on the same page with them. Times they want to do their event, cut cake, what type of music, what crowd is like. Yeah. I mean, the mobile DJ, wedding DJ thing is so different compared to a club DJ. A club DJ's life is way easier. Like you have a set time and it's either warming up or prime time, basically. or you're doing an entire night and you go and play whatever the theme of the night is. With the weddings, there are more things that you need to be aware of. A lot more communication ahead of time, planning, you name it. So again, like I always say, a lot of respect for mobile DJs and wedding DJs. They are an entire business when it comes to this DJ thing. I do mobile DJing as well, Select says, and you definitely have a longer lifespan in weddings and such. Clubs, you might get bored and it might get over the crowd. Plus, you can have a more flexible schedule. Yeah, I think so too. Without being a mobile DJ, that it feels like that to me. Like you could be, it's easier. It's more likely that you can be like an older mobile DJ compared to like the old club DJ, unless you're one of the big names. Like, I don't know how old Carl Cox is, but I believe he's definitely older and he's still rocking it, but he has that name. So he's built that fan base and they still want to go see him. But beyond that, yeah, I agree. LC, what's going on? What's going on? My opinion on the Rain 12 Mark II. I don't know. No, I don't know. I only have the Rain 12, the Mark 1. And I haven't tried them. So feeling wise, I don't even know if there's a difference. I mean, I know you can do the HID mode thing, and there's a couple of other things like I believe the Mark II supports like also playing with Algorithm DJ and another. And you can't do that with the one. But feeling wise, I don't even know if there's a difference. I haven't heard DJs really speak about that. So that's as far as my experience with the Mark II goes. Can't tell you anything about it. Wilson, DJ Kylo says how you deal with client bargaining fees and they bringing up the fact that other DJs charge less. Oh yeah, I mean I've been there before. I don't care about other DJs. That's very simple for me. So and I understand, like for some of you, you have to understand certain things might cost you gigs, but you have to realize, was the gig worth it? So I've been in a situation where people want to book me. They name a price, and that price is just too low. It's just beyond low, lower than my lowest amount that I would go for. And then they'll bring in like, yeah, all the other DJs are playing for that fee. Okay. Then you'll probably have to find another DJ because that's not my fee. I'm not playing for that fee. Now, that means I won't get the gig, or, and that's happened multiple times as well, all of a sudden they can't pay me more. So if I lose the gig, then it means they did not want to pay me my lowest fee. So then I don't want to do the gig anyway. A lot of times they will try to lowball you just because that they're on the bargaining tip as well. And I've had that happen a lot of times. Like, hey, if they try to anchor before you can, so you haven't even named the price, they'll just approach you and they'll tell you like, hey, this is what we have. Okay, that can be the case. But if that does not meet my my goal, then I'll just let them know like, hey, can't make that work. I've had that happen to me just the other day. They didn't compare to other DJs, but I was approached for a booking and they wanted me to do a set. A back-to-back set with a DJ that I normally don't play with. So that's not something I'm actually like, that's not something I really look for. Like playing back-to-back with DJs doesn't always work out very well. You have to really connect and click. Otherwise, it's not a great thing to do. But anyways, they had like, that was the plan. So a 4-hour back-to-back set. So basically you're playing 2 hours, but you're on stage 4 hours. In a city that's pretty far away. I currently don't have a car because I don't need it here in the city. I just do the rent by minute situation we have here. We have a lot of services that have cars just parked around the city. And you can just log in, use the car for however many minutes you use it, log out, and you just pay for those minutes. Perfect solution for a city like this. Parking is terrible. Our parking costs are really high, so I don't really need a car here. But if I have an out-of-town gig, that means I have to rent a car. Bottom line, they offered me an amount, and it was clear to me that that was not going to cut it. So they started with that. That was their anchor. Like, so I just came out and I gave them my highest amount and a lower amount. That lower amount isn't even the lowest I'm willing to go, but I'm not going to give them my lowest amount. I gave them the highest point and a lower point and see what they say then. Sometimes they'll come back and let you know, like, oh, okay, we can't really do that, but we can go to here. And a lot of times they'll name a price that's actually above my low point. And then I'm in. And if they don't, if they're like, no, that's all we have, then that gig is just not for me. I'm at the point where I really have to look at everything like, hey, if I take this gig, I lose an entire day. It's going to be a gig where I don't even know if I'm going to have that much fun. And at the end of the day, I'll make a couple of bucks. That's not worth it anymore to me. I'd rather spend that day in the studio working or making edits, you name it. Let's see. Any tips for building sets or routines? I have a hard time coming up with routines. I don't know if it's because I'm so used to freestyle DJing, but routines are hard for me. I'm on board with you when it comes to that because that's my thing as well. I've always done freestyle DJing, so routines, it takes, I think it takes more for us to actually come up with a routine if that's not something we regularly do. I've done like the short mixes. I still have some of my mini mixes that you can see on YouTube where I do my Gangstar mix, my LL Cool J mix. Those are really prepared mixes. Now, it takes me a while to do that, and those aren't even that complicated turntablism-wise. They're just mixes. But especially now, when you're doing routines, and you were talking about Red Bull, they're going to expect you to do more than just mixes. So they're going to expect you to have some wordplay and some tone play and some finger drumming in there, the whole nine. So I do believe it starts with the song selection. You have to find songs, and in this case, you're going to need to find songs that either have a certain energy, have something in there, which could be the melody or just a tone or a break that is very useful for a routine. But it's harder for us because we don't have like short prepared things. I remember talking to SK, and SK, like when he puts together some of his routines, he will take like mini routines that he has and either expand them or put a couple together. And I know a lot of DJs that have like short little routines that they can perform within their sets. You can use those as a starter point, but if you don't have those, like I don't, it's harder. It's harder. So I feel you. I haven't had time to do that properly because I've thought about Red Bull 3 style like a couple of years ago, and it quickly just realized I don't know when I'm gonna find the time to put this together because this is not something I'm going to be able to do like in a couple of days or weeks. This is going to take me a very long time. Let's see. Let's see. Ayala says, I had issues just in the beginning, but I looked at different videos and I resolved the issue. You just have to play with it, get used to it. Looks a video. I think I already missed what the beginning was about. So all right, Celex, that's a question I asked you about the company. So the idea of my company is to give new DJs the opportunity to learn and shine while also getting a decent pay. Most companies take a big piece of a new DJ when they turn them off at times. So you're basically going to be like a booking agency as well? Still not very clear to me, but we'll get there. Mulberry says, I got my PLX 1000 turntable during the pandemic and decided to move them with their cases. Surprise, they weighed a ton. Yes, a lot of those new turntables are heavy. PLXs are heavy. My VL12s are heavy. The RP 8000s are pretty heavy as well. A lot of them are heavier, way heavier than the 1200s. 1200s, I remember carrying them around, and at that time I was like, ooh, I'm carrying a turntable. Now you feel a lot of those new turntables, you're like, yeah, for real. Like PLX 1000, 32 pounds, 1200s, 17 pounds. That's a big difference, bro. That's like double. That's crazy. I hope you're talking about a pair though, right? Or with the case. Not just the turntable. Can't be that heavy. All right, we're cool on Mixcloud. Hey, God's Own, what's good? Salute to you. Once again, I appreciate the support. All right, let's see. You do a trick where you do pull pause scratches on an incoming track. I've seen you do it in Q and test to see if the track will work with that trick. What is the criteria for a track you'll do that on? I'd like to start doing that trick myself. All right. Let me think if I understand what exactly you're talking about now here. I do a pull pause scratch on an incoming track. Test to see if the track will work with that trick. Okay, so I'm actually not really sure which trick you're referring to. So either you have to let me know during the next live stream, like, hey, you just did it. This is what I mean. You can go to Twitter, by the way. On Twitter, you can still see my my old streams. So either go to Twitter, just pull up that stream and give me like a time code so I know, like, hey, at minute whatever you do it. But when it comes to the tracks, a lot of times what I do is based on what I hear, because I'm playing freestyle. So none of the tricks I do during my live streams, even when I'm like looping stuff up or do a backspin or scratches, everything happens on the fly and it's all dictated by the tracks that I'm playing. So if I'm doing a mix and in the transition I hear like they're singing on one track, the outgoing track, I know that vocal is going to be there. I'm probably going to scratch with the vocal. If I have an incoming track and the track starts with like either a familiar piece, like maybe a sentence or a word or a scream, a sound, whatever, that's dope to just take there, just bring that sound in and then take it back out. Just also give people, like your audience, like some of the people will recognize and know, like, oh, that song is coming up, but also because it just adds something musically. But whatever I do happens on the fly. So I have to say it's all feeling wise. It all happens according to feeling. And sometimes that goes wrong as well. Like for sure with certain tricks, stuff will go wrong when you're going totally freestyle. Right, I'm looking. You're having your own little conversation, so that's not questions, so I'm going to leave that. Only problem here with Vegas DJs, they're not humble, so I stick to my own. I'm humble, and I like to communicate with humble DJs. Yeah, I understand. Like, and I don't even really care. Like even if someone's not really humble, for me, it's more important that there's no negativity there. I really don't like that. I stay away from negativity. So if someone's not really humble, they're a little bit braggadocious or whatever, but they don't do it to put others down, then I'm okay with it. As soon as people start to get into that negative realm, yeah, I'm out. All right, K-Flash, the first gig, there we go. It was much fun. The adrenaline kicked while the dance floor was full for the first time, but underrated the difference of mixing at home and live. Transitions are much harder because of the sound case, the volume. So yes. These are things you will run into when you're doing gigs live. Live is not the same as playing at home. Even if you have a prepared mix, now you're in front of a real audience. And like I hear a question or see a question like, did you have a monitor? Like even if you have your monitor speakers, which I hope you did have, you're still getting like that sound from the room, from the venue. You will never have, most of us will never have that type of sound at home. So it's a different scenario. Nerves might kick in and a transition is a little bit harder to do. but it's also part of the fun. Like the adrenaline kicks in. Yeah, that's great to hear. Citrus Flavor says, how do you prepare? It left me. How do you prepare to build crates in Serato? I'm new to DJ software. So do you build a crate by genre or BPM? Just looking for some tips. So I have folders on my computer. Those folders are basically crates, and I import those crates into Serato. Now, I never made a crate according to BPM. I have crates according to genre. And within that, sometimes I will have like some separate crates, like a warm-up crate and a crate with tracks with more energy for later on. Sometimes I've done that. I've done different things over the years. The reason why I don't need BPM crates is because within Serato, whenever I'm in every crate I go into, I can just click on the BPM column to sort them by BPM if I want to do that. Or just go to all, just see all my music and sort by BPM if I want to go by BPM. So genre is the thing that I like to start with. From there, you can take it a million ways. I've seen DJs who have folders within folders within folders within folders. They'll have a folder for every year, and within that year, they'll have every genre. And if you go into there, they'll have BPM folders and so on and so on. So to each his own. I try to keep it, make it not too complicated and focus more on tagging. That's what I'm doing now. So tagging meaning putting as much energy as you can into that file. So not just the name, the title, the artist, but also the genre. And if you can, like, rate the track with like an amount of stars or name it, or have extra stuff in the comments, like the amount of energy or vibe, just a lot in there, because you can use all of that information to sort your music either by using smart playlists. So make sure you check out YouTube how to use smart playlists in Serato, because that can help you out a lot as well. If it ever gets slow on the dance floor, just play something like Cha-Cha Slide to get them back out there, and then try again. It's rare to have a perfect night, but they do happen. Well, the only thing I can't agree with in that statement is that only applies to a certain part of the world. The Cha-Cha Slide part of the comment, that is. There are countries and places where a Cha-Cha Slide is not going to work the same. But I totally understand what you mean. Like, if it gets slow, there are tracks that will most likely work for that audience, aka just the hits that will work for that audience. And something like that can get them going again and can get you going again as well. Okay. Cranon, what's going on? Not sure if you remember Cranon from India. Yes, I do. That's why I said Cranon. I remember your name. How's the nightlife up there right now? So in Amsterdam, we are basically open again. They lifted a lot of restrictions too early, in my opinion, because mostly the young people haven't been vaccinated yet. And they started to allow parties again. But what they do is you have to show like proof that you were tested that day. So now, like, the days in the last week, I've seen multiple days where you would have like long rows of especially younger people waiting in line to get tested to be able to go to a club that night. But as usual, humans are humans. People are people. So there's already been cases where it's clear that not everyone actually got tested, or they found ways to get in. There was like a fraternity party here over the week, not in Amsterdam, but another city in the Netherlands. And I believe they had like a fraternity party with 250 people in there, younger people, and 189 got infected. And there's been more cases like that. So I believe they're going to now add some restrictions again. But overall, things are opening up. A lot of people got vaccinated, so stores are open again. I know clubs are open again. Things are starting up again. So it's going in the right direction. But the only thing is they have to find a way to get more of the young people to start get vaccinated, because they still underestimate that they can also, some of them will also get severely sick or pass it on to other people. And even if that's not the case, that they don't get really sick, like if we get more cases and more people do end up at least in the hospital, you don't know, man. They might start locking stuff down again, and no one wants that to happen. But at the moment, there are parties again, and I have a couple of bookings. Not that many yet, but things are starting again. RC3, can I send you some of my remixes and listen on stream? None of them are mastered yet. Well, you can send me remixes, but I'm not listening on stream. I mean, I don't do a stream show where I'm doing like a listening session. Like maybe at a certain point we can do something like that, like where I play stuff from you guys, but I don't have any show like that now. I'm willing to take a listen, but it's not going to be online. Selleck says, going into the gig just for the money, you have to remember that you might not have a good night. Music is about the vibe, and you lose your passion for it. Also, the crowd at those are not that great. Yeah, 100%. Stony Loney, what's going on? I'm good, definitely. How come you don't get on Bigo or Bigo? That's where all the DJs are at. Okay, did I miss something? I have no idea what Bigo is. And that's where all the DJs are at. Well, all the DJs are on Twitch. That's one thing I can tell you. So no, I'm not familiar with Bigo. Hey, Brian Mohammed, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? And Mixmaster G is here, of course. That's 25 minutes ago, but I know you always show up. All right. RC3 says one of the remixes I did sent to a friend of my dad, and it's on the radio. He liked the edit, and he sent it to a record label. Dope. Maybe something will happen. That's dope. KZ, what's up? All right, so Special J says, I played on both 12s and Mark II. They feel the same, just more features. Yeah, I thought so. I didn't think like they changed anything mechanically, right? Just a couple of extra features. Okay. Now, Viper says there is a difference with the feel in the Rain 12 Mark 1 and 2. I like those comments. That means I really have to find a way to get my hands on the Mark II and try them out. Yep. Queen Caesar, salute. And T-Bab says, how do you handle DJing for friends? I gave one a good discount. Then he came back asking to pay a lower fee than what I gave him. It should actually be the other way around. If they're your friends, they should be the ones really supporting you. I haven't really been into that. I haven't been in that situation. I've done something for friends like once or twice. In that case, it really was a gift from me, and I'm talking about like a good friend. So in that case, there was no money. But beyond that, I know plenty of people who know you, and they'll be like, hey, man, can you hook me up? Like, dude, let's be real, bro. You can't walk into the butcher. Even if you go to the same butcher every week, you can't all of a sudden go in there and like ask for a discount on your chicken. It doesn't really work that way. They have to pay their bills too. Now, mind you, if you're like a big client and you go in there every week and you buy like pounds and pounds and pounds of meat, they might hook you up, but that's the same thing. Like if someone would book me a lot, there's something I might be able to do, but that's not the case here. There's like a friend, and you already gave the friend a discount, and then they're asking to pay a lower fee. That's not a friend, yo. That's not a friend. So I'm glad you said no. Jan Aden says, any tips for record box DVS? No, let me know what you want to know, because just out the gate, I don't know what tips to give you. Like record box DVS basically works the same as other DVS, like Serato, record box, it works the same. So let me know what you want to know, and that way I might be able to actually add some value. Celex, I appreciate that subscription. Much love for that support. Jan Aden says, so I switched from Serato to record box, but I have a lot of glitches and dropouts. Okay, so that's like a technical issue. What are you using? Let me know what equipment you're using with that. And are you on Windows or Mac? Those are two things. And probably someone already asked that because I'm running behind. Yeah, Selleck says friends will always want discounts on top of discounts. Yeah. A booking agent, but also help new DJs. Yeah, got you, Sellex. Understand. Yeah. I remember how hard it was for me to get started. So helping them start off would be as rewarding as the percentage I would get from the success. So, yeah, this is a good thing to talk about, maybe. In my experience, like normally booking agencies are very passive, meaning they're not looking for gigs for you. They handle the booking requests when they come in. So are you going to be more of an active booker that's really like hunting for gigs for your roster? That would be dope. Like I've seen it. I've been part of a couple of booking agencies just to give it a try over the years. Most of the gigs came from me, but now I'm paying them a percentage because they handled the booking when that client came in through me. So at a certain point I was like, this makes no sense. I'm paying them a 15% fee for something I did. And it's not that hard to handle the booking. Now, mind you, if I was like overloaded with bookings and there's so much coming in, then it makes perfect sense to have a manager or booking agent handle that, because I don't have the time to do that. But if you don't have like a ton of bookings coming in as a DJ, you can handle that. Just saying that because the booking agents that I was working with, they were not really getting me gigs. Every once in a while, maybe they would get like a booking for like another DJ, and then the person wanted more DJs, so then they can add extra DJs from their roster. But beyond that, they were never looking. They would only come to you like, hey man, there's not enough happening around you, so we're not getting calls, meaning they're not looking for gigs for you. So it would be dope to see more booking agents that are actually like on the hunt. So Mixmaster G says exactly what I thought, or kind of what I said. Need more specs about what computer OS you're using and how you run DVS into the computer. So most likely when I go to the chat, I'm going to find that you're already handling it and taking care of it. JS Rock was good. So kind of hard-hitting question here, and not meaning to sound disrespectful. So I'm going to try to word this in the best way possible. Certain words are not allowed on Twitch, but they are said in certain tracks. Is this okay, or can playing the tracks get you into trouble? So without knowing the specific words, I can say that I always play the dirty versions of songs. So all of the words in the explicit versions are being played. And I haven't had any issues with that. So I stream on Twitch, and after the stream is done, I will delete the replay, reminding myself I have to still delete Monday's replay. But I normally do that straight away. Haven't had any issues with that. So I hope that helps you out. So yeah, Mixmaster G as well says like maybe it's different for the chat. So if your chat would be full of profanity, maybe that is something, but I'm not sure either. And yeah, so more people. JS Rock wants to know from you too, Jan Adams, because I've used Rekordbox DVS as well. I haven't had those glitches either. Queen Caesar wants to know, when figuring out how much to charge for your DJ services, do you calculate your rate / amount per hour? And if it's an hourly rate, do you factor in setup and teardown time in addition to the time that you DJ, or do you say an amount that you want for that gig? So I believe there's like a plethora of answers here for all different types of DJs. So if you're doing a club set, there's not really any building up and tearing down. If you're a mobile DJ, that is definitely something that needs to be done as well. If you come in with your entire setup and you have to set up the speakers and the entire booth and you name it, that is time. That time needs to be accounted for. I know DJs who will have a flat fee. I'm one of those DJs. So I don't really do an hourly rate. I do have like a range what I will charge for an hour, but it's not like 2 hours is automatically 2 times the amount for 1 hour. So 1 hour, let me say it like 2 hours is less than 2 times that 1 hour. If you're going to book me for just that 1 hour, you're going to be paying for it. More hours becomes a little bit cheaper, actually. And some DJs don't do that. They'll have they'll have an hourly rate. It's this per hour. And then how many hours they get, that's the calculation they make. So it's very different. Kind of depends on the scene, club, mobile, you name it. And I don't have to factor a lot in. I have to factor in like, okay, how long is the set? I'll have a way to figure that out. And if it's further away, so I know I have to rent a car, for instance, I'm going to put that in the fee. Now, I'm not putting that in the fee as like rental car. I just know I'll have to up my fee for that gig because it's further away. If I get a booking for Amsterdam and they only have a certain amount and it fits my fee for playing, I know I can work with it because within Amsterdam, travel is not going to be expensive. But if I have to go and do a 2-hour drive, I have to calculate that I have to rent a car and I have to pay gas for that car. That cost has to go in as well. So there's different things you have to take into consideration for that. And a lot of DJs will tell you like a different way they calculate that. Okay, so Jan working with the Pioneer Interface 2. I've never used that one. RMTV says, if you got some knowledge on it, I was curious to know if there's a way of making money after meeting the criteria on your YouTube page, even though the mixes I put have claims on them. So making money on YouTube with mixes is a no-no. That won't happen because the mixes will get flagged for music that's in there. And most likely some record labels will monetize your video. Or if you're unlucky and you play something like Jay-Z, the video will get blocked in certain countries or in all countries. So no, there's ways to make money on YouTube if you can monetize your videos. So if you don't have copyrighted material and you've met the criteria to become eligible for that, then through AdSense, you can get paid for your videos. They will run ads on your videos and you get paid for that. It's not a lot. So you have to have a lot of views to really make some money. But if we're talking about DJing and mixing on YouTube, you can't really monetize that. All right, Casey says, I'm a mobile DJ, and since the pandemic, I've had very few gigs. I also used to practice regularly, but I've lost motivation. How can one get back that motivation now that there are few to no gigs. So for me personally, I mean, this is going to be different for everyone. And like telling someone how to find motivation is actually pretty hard, because people get motivated by different things, and there has to be a certain passion in there to relight. So I haven't had gigs during the pandemic, and gigs are coming back, but I don't have a lot of gigs. But I've thoroughly enjoyed myself live streaming. And live streaming actually really helped me to get even more motivated. It's a lot of fun to do, and you're actually DJing. So that worked for me. And even now, like we're still in the later stage of this pandemic, but gigs are coming back. I'm still streaming and still loving it, and I'll continue to do that. And it also keeps you sharp, because you, especially if there are no gigs, you need to make sure you get some practice in. And streaming is better than just practicing, because you are forced to really DJ. If you're just practicing on your own, you might just mess around. You might get tired of it after 10 minutes. But when you're streaming, even if there's like 2 people watching, you now still feel like, okay, I have to actually mix and I have to continue. So streaming helped me out a lot. Yeah, so that's a thing I have thought about. Special J is talking about recommending playing as clean as possible, because some listeners have it on at work or playing out in their home with kids around, but that's totally up to you. 1 second, this is important. My youngest son. So my youngest son has a SoundCloud account that I pay for, SoundCloud Pro, because he uploads a lot. And I don't know, something went wrong with the payment, I guess. I don't know what, because if I look in the account, it says that the next payment is in August. So I have to assume that everything worked out, but I'll check that out later tonight. But he's at home, and he's having a hard time going to sleep, because he got scared that if the account isn't working anymore, he would lose all his uploads. So I already told him, like, don't worry, that's all going to be fine. But I had to answer that now, otherwise that little boy cannot sleep. All right. So yeah, the clean thing, I totally understand. It kind of depends on where you are as well. So for instance, here in the Netherlands, like radio and TV, they don't censor. So I know for a lot of places, especially in the US, like radio will play censored versions, right? So people are not really that used to it. Here it's kind of different. I haven't done it. I play dirty now. But if I would have like a specific stream in mind that I would like to be played in certain areas, like for instance, if I want to do something that I hope people will at least play the replay in gyms or whatever. Some gyms will prefer like the dirty versions, but there might be other like public places, public gyms that are not going to play dirty versions. So in that case, clean might be more safe. I just hate clean versions. Like they mess up a lot of the tracks that I play. But I totally understand. Have you guys heard of the Windows 10 disk usage 100% issue? There's a fix on YouTube. If that is what you used, in short, you have to go to the services and turn off some stuff. No, I haven't really heard of that. I haven't run into the issue either. I want to check that out though. I'm on Windows here. Best part of DJing is the adrenaline rush. Yeah, that's going to be something different. I'm going to experience that feeling again. I haven't had that. Like streaming is one thing, but like a live audience reacting is different. I do believe that a lot of people now are reacting extra. Like I think the DJs now are experiencing like extra hype because people are going out for the first time. Not everywhere. I know that in certain areas in Asia, they've been clubbing for a long time. But I've seen footage from like local gigs. I've seen people rocking out to like any track. They were just happy to be in a club again. Collector Ski Music, salute. Reggae One, salute to you as well. Ken Ark, what's going on? When scratching, when does your scratches sound musical? Is it getting it on time? Timing is very important. That is for sure. Like, you have to master your scratches to a degree that, of course, you can just scratch on beat. But as soon as you really master that, it will allow you to not just focus on being on beat, but now you're actually going to basically like flow over the beat. I know that's not the best way to explain it, but you have to have a feel for the music. You have to be able to scratch with the right timing, but you also have to have a feel for the music. And I actually know some DJs can be very technical and they can do scratches that are way beyond my skill set, but they're just not funky. So they're very, very technical, but it's not very musical. I prefer the more musical scratches, and I'd rather hear someone do more basic scratches that flow more to the music compared to someone being very technical, but very clinically clean, basically. So you need to master your technique so that you're able to, of course, scratch on beat, but take it beyond that where you can just follow the flow of the music. Same way you be when you're playing an instrument. If you're playing an instrument, you're not just playing it on beat. You're playing over the beat, but you're staying within the pocket of the rhythm, and that comes with time and with experience. So Terrence Stokes, yes. Like Terrence Stokes put the color code from Serato to recognize the genre. So you could do that, or you could have like genre just as genre within the columns, but also use the color coding to mean something for you. It could be like the energy level or whatever, but like tagging and putting as much information into the track, that's my goal. That's what I really want to do. To make it easier for me to, if I'm in a certain vibe, just be able to find tracks that fit that vibe easier than it is now. Chris on the mix, what's good? Do you think that artists/labels still view DJs as relevant? I don't have a lot of insight into that, actually. I don't know. Also because you have the different type of DJs. Some of the DJs are very big, but they're big because they produce their own music and have their own labels. It's a great question. I really don't have an answer for that. That is something that we need to ask labels and artists. So I need to do that. DJ Damage also does the Serato color code. Dope. Okay, JS Rock says I think it's pronounced Bygo. Yeah, I still don't know. I still have no idea what that is. Damage, appreciate that subscription as well. Appreciate that support. Yeah, CellX, I like that. That's dope. Like you're really trying to guide the newer DJs as well. That's dope. Joe Charles wants to know, do you only DJ on Twitch on Monday? Yeah, so I do my mix every Monday on Twitch, Mixcloud, and Twitter. And that's it for now. I did also have a bi-weekly show on Friday, Certified Bangers. And for now, I just had to bring it back a bit, just doing the Monday and the Wednesday shows because I have to really focus on my main content. As people who follow me on YouTube know, there's not been like actual uploads. I've done the live streams for months now every week, so I am on there. But I just have a lot of different projects and different videos that I want to put out, content that I need to edit. So I needed to scale that back a little bit, the amount of streaming. Now, maybe I can work out a certain schedule where I can start to do more. But for now, mixing is just on Mondays. Brandon wants to know also, what's your thoughts on being a resident DJ, or should I be a freelancer when I'm at a beginner level? Oh no! Look, if you're like beginner level, let's just separate this right here. You have beginners who are now learning how to DJ, and then we have beginners when it comes to like playing out. So you've already practiced and you basically know how to DJ. So you know the technique, you know how to play, and now you're trying to do gigs. If you can get a residency, that is incredible, because that means you have a gig every week or maybe every month. I've done a lot of residencies where I was playing there once a month. Not a lot of weekly things. But if you can get your hand on residencies, that's like a steady thing. That's also always great. Now, some DJs will be just a resident and play like 5 days a week at the same club, and then you don't do other gigs maybe. But if you have a couple of residencies, you're still doing the freelance thing, just other bookings as well. But if you can get it, it's great. Any gig you can get when you're starting out is dope. DJ F Swift, what up? Okay, so Crandon says, I'm a DJ who has monocular eyesight where I'm partially blind, but somehow I will be able to manage and kill it for the real crowd. How should I take it when I depend on this art form? Cleveland Terry was good. I see you, man. What up? What up? Wow. Okay. Partially blind. Now, I mean, partially blind means you still have some eyesight, right? And like especially when it comes to DJing, you still have your hearing. So that is amazing, of course. So you've done live gigs already, right? So you said, but somehow I'll be able to manage and kill it for the real crowd. I'm not sure I understand the question, though. How should I take it when I depend on this art form? So let me know, Crandon. Let me know exactly what you mean. I'm not quite sure if I understand the question, so I don't want to just take this conversation into any direction. No, Celex, I haven't tried that NV2 yet. No. And Megawatt says, I have a big local DJ putting me on right now. Nice. DJ One Eye, shout out to him. Salute. So Cleveland, you aren't on today, or are you already done? Or are you about to start? Let me know. If you're about to start, then that's where I'm taking the Twitch peeps next. Okay, so this worked out. Boy went back to bed. That's good. That's dope. He really cherishes that SoundCloud and everything he does on there. Okay, Cleveland Terry is about to get on. Good. So my Twitch people, we know where we are going next. That is for sure. For me, that's always the perfect one. Like if it's Monday and I'm DJing, then I have to look around like, okay, who's on right now? What are they playing? Will it kind of match what I'm doing? With Wednesday, it's basically a no-brainer for me. Like we're already talking shop. What better way to extend this than Cleveland Terry? 10 minutes. Cool. We're going to just hang in here. And I'm caught up finally. That's fun too. Like I was a half hour behind and I'm finally running on time. That's dope. Anyone else know more about this buy go thing? Like I saw the one mention, like all the big DJs are there. Like I haven't been paying the most attention to everything happening. So it could really just be me that I've been missing out. But I don't know by go and which DJs are on there streaming. Let me see if I actually can, because I don't have my my Twitch on this side. Oh, Record Box. Wait, Record Box opened up behind me, didn't it? So BIGO is a new thing. So if it's a new thing, like I forgot who said it, but the person said like all the big DJs are on there. I haven't heard a lot about it. But if it's new, it's probably going to take time for the community to grow there, and that's only going to happen like if the DJs are really there. Let me first see my Record Box and pull it to this monitor here. Because I'm working with 3 monitors here. All right, Record Box. Because I do quickly want to see if I can talk about that search question for Beat Source. So I'm going to go to the search box. Is Beat Source already open on the search box? I think so. I need a keyboard. Let's break out the keyboard. See if that works. Okay, no, I can't check. I'm seeing a red screen and an error, and the monitor is a little bit too far for me to see to see what is wrong. So I'm not even going to attempt to do that. So okay, I'm going to take that out. I will actually open a browser here so I can take a look at BIGO. Sound on BIGO is not that good in comparison to Twitch, Sergio says. And K-Dub wants to go from playing CDs on my CDJs to digital. CDs are also digital. No, I'm kidding. What do you suggest between Tractor, Serato, or Record Box? I can't really suggest for you. You really have to take a look at them and see which one fits your flow the best. So you're playing on CDJs right now. On one hand, I would say that if you're playing on CDJs, but you're playing CDs on CDJs, so you're not using Record Box to sort out your music. You're just burning 2 CDs. Okay. Otherwise, I would say Record Box would be the logical choice because you're already kind of in that Pioneer ecosystem. I don't know. I will probably take a look at Record Box first, maybe. Queen Caesar. So these aren't shelves. This is like an actual. These are 2 big sections. They don't sell this one anymore. It's IKEA, but they stopped selling this one, I believe. This was the one people were using for their vinyl, and IKEA stopped making them, and I was able to find them secondhand on something like eBay. Not eBay, but a similar site where they still had a guy had a couple. I forgot the name. Like, let me see if I can find it for you. Actually, I'm not even going to Google BIGO there. I'm going to do it right here. And I see Cleveland Terry says it's a Carnival app. Nico wants to know, does BIGO have the copyright restrictions? Okay, so Select says it's 6 to 7 years old. Damn, and in all that time, I haven't heard anyone talk about that. And Selex also says that the audio is not that great. Okay, Cranon says, I've played for a real crowd. I killed it. Promoters loved it. The only thing is I was not getting paid as I was promoting myself in the new city to build my social handles. Not sure I understand that. So they booked you, but they told you they were not going to pay you? That was just like, hey, you get to play here to promote yourself? I mean, I get that. As you said, I'll look out for a residency. so that I don't have to depend. Well, no, like, I mean, you can look for a residency, but look, any gig is dope. Any gig is dope if you're starting out. You just want to play. If you get the chance to land a residency, that's just extra dope. But like, you can't, if you haven't played at a club, for instance, you're not going to get a residency there. So it's not like you can approach like promoters like, hey, can you book me as your regular DJ to play every week? Like, if you do gigs like you did now, and you did a gig, killed it, the promoters loved it, you're now on their radar. Hopefully they'll book you again, and maybe at a certain point you can get residencies if a spot opens up, because a lot of clubs will already have their resident DJs. So it's not like all clubs just have like residencies open for DJs. Like, DJs want that residency. All right, Bigo, same as Twitch. Nothing legal about it as far as copyright goes. I was going to check two things. All right. Let me first, Queen Caesar, let me quickly check the IKEA name. What that name was. No, because I forgot that name. I just remember that at a certain point they stopped selling them. So either this one was called the Calax, or it was the one before that. No, I think that's the one. But I believe that they stopped selling it, but maybe they actually sell it again, because I do see something. So Kallax. I think that is the same one as this one. Kallax from IKEA. And now I'm going to take a look. So maybe I've already seen Bigo. Maybe I've been there before. Because I bought a DIY bookshelf for my records from Target, and that's what it was for books. It was too small to fit my vinyl. Yeah. All right. Subtext says Expedit. So I don't remember if that's this one or if that's the one before this one. Bigo. Have I seen this before? Let me click on it real quick. Okay, so the first thing I'm seeing is all ladies from Vietnam and an Arab country just showing their face, and they have 1,000 viewers. Then I got a guy from Malaysia. Then we get some people playing Fortnite, Call of Duty. I see a lot of Arab and Asian looking signs and names. Okay, so no, I'm not familiar with this at all. Let me quickly check that Expedit, because I remember that name as well. And Chris on the Mix says Target also has a shelf that can fit the vinyl. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Subtech. So Expedit was before Kallax. So yeah, and they're kind of the same, right? But at least these are perfect for it because, well, as you can see, like they fit the vinyl, but they fit it easily. It's deep enough that I can push this back and have like a mixer in front of it if I want to, or if you want to just have one of your vinyl sleeves and use it as a nice just to showcase the artwork, it will easily fit. So yeah, I absolutely love these, and they have them in different sizes. Like this is the big one, so this is a what was it? A 5x5. They also have like 5x1s. So I have two 5x5s here. I used to have two 5x1s on top, and now I just have the vinyl on top without those because we just use those as different type of furniture or TVs on top of that now. But they work. Sergio says most are bots for that Bigo thing. Yeah, to be honest, if I look at the app, it doesn't look that appealing to me. Now, like I said, I don't pay attention to everything happening, but if that's been around for 6-7 years and I haven't heard a single DJ talk about it, or this is the first time I'm being asked about it, I highly doubt that it's really hot and happening for DJs right now. Cool. So let me pull my screen to this side so I can see it. I'm working with a funny setup. So I actually now have a monitor that I just have in this corner of the studio at all times. I don't know if you can actually see. Yeah, so that's right there. So when I'm DJing, I can see the DJ software on that one, which is pretty cool. Right now I have OBS on that one, so I can at least see myself. When I'm DJing, I would actually prefer to have an extra monitor so I can have my DJ software and OBS. But for now, this is working just fine. And I have a monitor back there and an old TV above that now. So I have a couple of monitors, but it's always a little tricky. I always have to say, okay, which way do I have to move my mouse to switch from one monitor to the other one? So let me pull it over here. Here, up. So I'm going to move Twitch over here so I can see what I'm doing and get ready to raid Terry, Cleveland Terry. And no, he's not from Cleveland. I saw that post this week. So yeah, funny thing though, I saw, like I just posted about these yesterday. And I also said I have to find out how you pronounce it, if it's Gico or Jico, the replacement for the M447. And I saw Mojack post that he actually has them right now as well. So we're both going to be testing them in the same week. Now, I know he already had the needles like a year or two ago because I've heard him and more people talk about it. That's the reason I know about them. So yeah, looking forward to testing these. So make sure you tune in on Monday for Crates, the all vinyl edition, where I get to test those needles and just play with some vinyl. Hey, there you go, Vinyl Touch. You're lurking while you were doing interviews. Hey, I appreciate that. That's some dedication right there. All right, so let me get the raid ready. Let's see if it already shows Cleveland Terry. Nope, not yet. So I guess he's not live yet. Well, we'll give that a minute. Let me refresh this for a second. I think it's running a little bit behind. No, not yet. Okay. So before we get out of here, for the people watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Mixcloud, this does not apply to you because this is just for Twitch. On Twitch, I'm going to raid, meaning that the people watching on Twitch are going to be able to follow me into the next broadcast by Cleveland Terry. If you're not on Twitch, you're on one of these other platforms. Cleveland Terry is only live on Twitch. I do believe he posts his replays on his YouTube channel. But if you want to check him out live, it's going to be about DJing as well. You'll have to have a Twitch account to make that happen. So before I get out of here, I want to... Oh, Cleveland Terry is on. Let me see if... Okay. I don't like that. I'm in the Twitch dashboard, and I just clicked on raid, and it's supposed to show me all the channels that I follow that are live now. But it was not showing. Okay, so I'm just going to use the keyboard then. Really? Really? You're going to make me type out the entire name? What am I missing here? Why? Yeah, that's weird. Like I like using that dashboard on Twitch where you just click on raid channel and it'll just show you a list of, hey, channels you follow and all that are live. And now your channel isn't there. And when I clicked on the search, it still didn't show you. Yeah, I'm going to give it another second. You should appear in a second, and otherwise I'll do it with the code. There you go. Rick with the super chat. And I think it's not going to be Rick, but it's going to be Rick because I see Rick van Tamelen. Even though Rick is with a CK in this one. So I would assume it's Dutch, and I appreciate that super chat. So thank you. But is it Rick or Rick? Because if I see the name, I would say this is Dutch. But before we get out of here, let me first just say thank you to everyone tuning in on Mixcloud, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching this from. I'm here every Wednesday with Share the Knowledge Live, STK Live, talking about DJing, answering questions, at least when I can. If I don't know, I'll let you know as well. And as usual, people are helping each other out in the chat, which I absolutely love. And if you want to watch me mix, make sure you tune in on Monday for Crates. And this coming Monday, it's going to be an all vinyl edition. Now, stay tuned. If you're not following me on YouTube, DJ TLM TV, new content is on the way. So if you're not already following me there, make sure you follow me there. Special shout out to Mixmaster G in the chat and all my regulars in the chat. I appreciate you a lot. Citrus Flavor, I appreciate that follow. Let me open Mixcloud real quick. I don't want to ignore if someone else is there. MW DJ. Oh, you're switching from platforms back and forth. I love it. Yep. Rick is Dutch. Dus Rick, ik kan gewoon Rick zeggen, want eigenlijk is het gewoon Rick van Tamelen. En bedankt man. Loving that super chat. Heel dope. All right. Quickly, for the people on Twitch, let me check again. I just don't want to go for the code. I want this to freaking work. It's not working. Twitch is hating on Cleveland Terry. That's not fair. I just want to check for a second to see if I go to my main page where I am now. Okay, see, he is showing up here. I'm seeing him right here now. So that's weird. It should be showing up there as well. I have to watch the ad for a second. Yeah, that's the loading screen or the timer before it begins. So yeah, he's there. I'm gonna go back to my dashboard one more time. This dashboard is a hater. Okay, got you. So for my people on Twitch, let's go check out Cleveland Terry. All the other viewers on all the other platforms, make sure you check me out. Follow me on Instagram. That's the social media page where I post the most outside of just like the streaming and stuff. So that's where you are going to find updates. Working on the new website, djtlm.com. That should be online after the weekend. And that's going to hold my schedule and a bunch of stuff there. And I'll come back to you as soon as I can about other or new ways to support, to go around all of these subscriptions on the different platforms. All right. Salute to y'all. Let me just click on Cleveland Terry. Start raid. Let that start counting. All my Twitch people. Megawatt, salute to you. T-Bab, salute to you. Rick, once again, salute to you. All of you in the chat. So we got a couple people joining us here. Raid now. Now I'll give it a couple of seconds. Yeah, we're going to raid Terry now. There we go. So that is happening on Twitch. All right, it was cool to hang with y'all. And you know where to find me. See y'all soon. Peace.